welcome back to Vlogmas. Today we are going to be making no-bake peanut butter chocolate protein balls. And it's really easy to make. I'm going to go ahead and do everything here with you. And this is something you're going to have to try at home. So the ingredients we're using, I just got the Quaker 1 minute oats. Quick 1 minute oats. We have that. You do need 1.5 cups of these. I am also using the Jif creamy peanut butter. It's 1 cup of peanut butter. I got some pure honey. You need 1/4 cup of this. I am using the IdealFit collagen chocolate flavored protein. I like this protein just because you still get your 20 grams in, but it's also really good for your hair, skin, and nails. So it's kind of like killing 2 birds with 1 stone with this one. And lastly, usually I use chocolate chips with this recipe, but because it's Vlogmas and I'm making everything festive, instead of chocolate chips, I am using the red and green Christmas M&Ms. Just straight milk chocolate, none of the fancy stuff, so like no peanut butter, no peanuts, just regular M&Ms. So, let's get started. In a large mixing bowl, you are going to combine all of your ingredients. So we're going to go ahead and dump the oats. We got our honey. And just kind of as a little tip, if you wear rings, I would recommend taking them off to make these, since we do need to roll them into a ball. Believe me, you don't want to get honey and peanut butter under your rings because it's really hard to get out and it doesn't feel that great. Okay, that. Let's get our peanut butter in here. We need 2 scoops of the protein, so not just 1 scoop, we're actually doubling that right now instead of what we would use for a drink. Okay. And lastly, we need 2 tablespoons of M&Ms. Let me grab some scissors. Okay. Alrighty. So, we got everything in the bowl. I'm going to go ahead and get my rings off now. And what you want to do is you want to mix until all of these ingredients are combined really nice together. With the honey in here, it can be a little harder to mix. So come towards the end, it'll be better to knead the dough rather than just mix it. But we'll get there. This smells really good. Smelling all that chocolate and protein together, it's like one giant Reese's almost. While I am mixing this though, I want to hear from Jens. What are some of your favorite protein recipes that you've tried in the past? You know, feel free to comment that below because I'm always up to trying new protein things. Actually, this is mixing really well that I don't even have to worry about kneading this dough. That's really good. It's really nice. Okay. So whenever your dough is well combined, it's kind of going to look like that, where everything is just very evenly coated with the peanut butter and the honey, and you won't have any protein powder sticking out anymore. It'll actually be blended in with the rest of the ingredients. So now is the fun part. We get to roll these into little tiny protein bites. And I need some wax paper. Nope. There we go. Whenever you make these, you don't want to just place them on your counter, just because they are really sticky. So wax paper is very helpful. Actually, let me just clear a little bit of counter space so we can do this. Okay. Alrighty. So, depending on how you want to make these, the size of the ball itself doesn't really matter. So if you want to have some more, you obviously want to make your balls very tiny. Or if you want to have them not necessarily as a meal, but a little bit of a heavier snack, then you can make the balls a little bit bigger. I usually kind of like go in the middle of it. So usually what I'll do is I take, because we do get some stuff on the spoon here, so I'm just going to go ahead and take some of that in my hand. And then you just want to roll them all together. And you are going to get covered in peanut butter and honey. I promise it'll get washed off. It's not the end of the world. But my balls, I try to make like that big. Like, not super, super big, but maybe like if you were going to bake cookies, you know, maybe like the spoon size for those. So again, I'm going to take what's left on my spoon here. And then I'm going to use that same spoon just to kind of like pick things out of the bowl. Here's going to roll these all together. And you know, again, I don't really know how much this recipe makes. I never actually counted. But a lot of it really does depend on the size of the balls. So I can sit here and tell you like, oh, you know, like one batch of these is going to make 10 to 12 balls. But you might get a little more, you might get a little less. You know, this is really just a preference thing for you at this point. Okay. But that's about as much as I'm taking in my hand, just to kind of give you an idea. And then I'm rolling that all out. Because for me, I'd much rather have them be a little bit bigger. That way I feel like I'm not just sitting there eating constantly. You know, I can have one or two and I'm good to go. But even my sizes vary. You know, like looking at my little wax paper here, which I will show you, obviously, at the end of my video. But, you know, even these aren't like consistently the same size. I'm terrible at measuring stuff like that. Especially with the holiday season. You know, like I'll help my mom bake some cookies and stuff for Christmas Eve since my parents host the Christmas party. And I kind of got kicked off rolling the cookie duty just because they weren't consistently even. And some were like so big and we had to go back and kind of like take those and cut them in half. But it's okay because I really, honestly, don't like to bake. I am not a baker. I feel like you just have so much and there's just so much cleanup to do. So this is like the extent of me baking, and even this is every once like now and then. It's like once in a blue moon or something, just because it's messy. Like, I can sit here and I can cook for days. I love to cook, and I understand it's kind of the same thing, but I don't know, like, I feel like you just don't have that much to clean up at the end because you just mix everything together and you don't have to worry about, like, the measuring cups and all that stuff. And it's just, I don't know. I don't like to bake. Not my thing. My sister loves it. She can keep it. I'd much rather cook any day. Alrighty. We are almost done. This is actually, like, pretty nice. What are some of your holiday traditions? You know, do you bake a lot? Do you host anything? Is there always like one specific thing that you like to cook for the holidays? I want to know what you guys think. I want to kind of step inside your world a little bit since you get to see mine all the time. These are looking so cute. We're almost done. I'd say probably like another 5 or 6 balls out of this. So that's not too bad. And you do, whenever these are done, you do want to store these in either your refrigerator if you're going to eat them right away, or your freezer, or both if you want to save some for later, for like a later date whenever you know you're not going to eat them all right away. Basically, you want to keep them stored where they're going to be cold, just because it'll make the balls stay together a little bit better and a lot longer than what it would be if you just had them sitting out. And just for like a personal preference, I like them to be a little bit harder, not necessarily like super soft and squishy. So I don't even eat these as soon as I make them. I'm going to store them in the fridge for probably at least an hour or two before I even enjoy one. But again, that's personal preference. You can eat these as you roll them if you wanted to. But they smell really good. It's all that peanut butter and the chocolate together, and oh, I love that. Yeah, we're getting down to the end now. My balls are starting to get a little bit smaller. Alrighty, last one. Okay. Alrighty, let me wash my hands and then I will show you what they look like on this wax paper. Here is the finished product for my little protein balls. And as you can see, there are some that are a little bit bigger than others, especially this one over here. But it's not a big deal. Like I said, I prefer mine to be a little bit bigger just because I'd much rather eat what I think is less than just sit there and eat like 5 or 6 of these things. And I did add a little bit extra M&Ms to the top of them. You don't have to do that. Again, that's just a personal preference, just to kind of pretty it up a little bit. And I do the same with the chocolate chips too whenever I make them with that. So it's not just because it was an M&M thing. But that is my video for today. I am so happy that you came and baked with me. And I really hope this is a recipe that you'll try. Like I said, I don't eat mine right away. I am going to store these in the fridge for a little bit just to kind of harden them up some before I actually enjoy them. So, by all means, remake this recipe. I promise you it is very, very good. But for now, I am going to go on with the rest of my day. I have to drop off some of the angel tree gifts at my local gym. So I'm really excited for that. And you know, like I said, that was like in my last video, how I love doing the angel trees and just helping out as much as I can. But until next time, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on social media, and I will chat with you guys later.